it's me again. Okay, so I had to do this project for English. And I had to study censorship laws in the US and had to write an argumentative essay about a book that's censored, that if it should or should not be censored. For those of you who don't know, censorship laws in the US go against the First Amendment, which is the freedom of speech, or free will, most people think of it as. And censorship laws sort of censor or ban books to be taught all around the US, or sometimes even in public libraries. Depends on where you live. And I did the book The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And I'm sure most of you have either seen or read it. But those of you who haven't, I'm going to sort of give you a little snippet. See, it's about this girl named Katniss Everdeen, and she lives in a world, Panem, which is now known as, which was our North America. And every year they have this cruel reminder of what happened in the past, called the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, 24 go in, but only one comes out. 2 from every district, there is 12. And Katniss sort of gets thrown into it, which I'll explain more later. And her partner come out, which I'll explain more later. And with that, I would like to go into this quote by Oscar Wilde. The books that the world calls immoral are books that show the world its own shame. And this can happen to our world at any moment. People should know, don't you think? So I'm going to go on to my first point. It's said to go that this book is banned for many reasons, a few of them being sexual explicitity, satanic practice, and being anti-family. And my first point is, even though all that it does happen and it's sort of a false record, violence is one of the things that is constantly repeated throughout the whole trilogy. I mean, wouldn't you think the Hunger Games, when you looked at the title, would be sort of violent? I mean, but it's all around our world today. I mean, I can't tell you how many times my dad looked on the news and there's a person getting killed, or a mob, like the Ferguson riots. So it's not that much different than today. So my first reason of explicitity is very unjustified. According to verdict.justia.com, even though the main characters Katniss and Peeta share a bed throughout the trilogy, they never do anything, at least that the author puts down. In one of the books, which is Catching Fire, for the sake of survival against the arena, they lie. I said lie, and say Katniss is pregnant, to sort of try to beat the odds. They didn't do anything, but if you are on your way to your probable death with your lover, wait, you want to show them how much you love them? Sex is only remotely discussed by Finnick through prostitution. Because as a victor of the Hunger Games, you get to live in these nice houses and you get money, and people throw themselves at you. Now on to my next point. it is also called to be anti-family, and that is very off base. Even though Katniss loses all respect for her mother in the first book, because her mother goes into an icy depression because her father died, and she can't take care of her and her sister, Prim. Even though all that happens, in the process of all these events, Katniss and her younger sister are starving, and Katniss becomes the sole provider for her family by hunting illegally. Though it brings Katniss and Prim, or Primrose, Katniss' sister, together. That it was so close together that when so it brings Katniss and Prim so close together that Katniss volunteered her life, knowing that there was a probable reason that she was going to die, to go into the arena for Prim, because she beat the odds and she got voted with one single slip in the bowl. And then there comes satanic practice, which, let me give you a little bit of definition for that. A satanic practice means, like, there's not really a religion, so I guess that's sort of the default. If there's no religion, it goes towards satanic practicing. But in their society, they didn't know any better. They didn't know what to believe other than what the capital, basically our Washington, D.C., said. In the society of what used to be North America, there's a gap. And there is faith, then none, because they didn't practice it through that time. So it wasn't their fault that there was no religious viewpoint. They weren't taught any different. They really put people in the arena to sort of scare them out of rebelling against what they know was wrong. People need to know the shameful horrors that can be bestowed on our world at any given second. And if people can't see that, what are they going to do when the time comes? Thank you for watching. I'll probably see you next week.